Hey, it's good to see you. Thanks for meeting me here. This is the Strawberry Inn, or it's on Highway 108 in a little town called Strawberry. We can grab a pizza, we can play some pool, put the jukebox on. This is a pretty cool place. I really like this. Now, this is just north of a little bar called Diamond Jim's. That place was cool. A couple years ago, hung out with a bunch of people there. We had a lot of fun. We were there until like 2:30 or 3, whatever time it closed. I woke up in a motel not too far from there, and my wallet was full of phone numbers. A bunch of ladies just gave me my phone numbers and their addresses over the night, and I don't exactly remember that happening, but I had a lot of phone numbers after that night. So Diamond Jim's, that's a cool place to hang out. Drive up, go through Diamond Jim's. I think they do like chicken wings or something, but this place is cool. This is in Strawberry, neat little place. So this is great. I really enjoy this place. So I just wanted to hang out and have a chat and talk to you about I was at a coffee, I went to a coffee place with some friends earlier this week, and I didn't realize what was up with the seats, but they had zero friction. And I'd never thought of this before. And they were just like, you know, like faux leather, whatever they were, vinyl seats. I don't know. I've never had this experience before, but I sat on the seats in this coffee shop, and then I just started sliding back. I leaned back, and then I just slid. I kept sliding all the way down, and I was thinking, something doesn't seem right. So I brought myself back up, and I just kept sliding down. There was zero friction on the seats, and I don't super understand what the deal was with that. And so for the whole time we were having a coffee, I just have a long black. That's my coffee, nothing complicated. I actually had to lean forward and had to put some of my weight on the table like this, because if I didn't, then I would just slide down the seat. I'd never had this. That was weird. And it just kind of reminded me, one time my friends and I went to a Nepalese restaurant, and the tables were too low. The tables were really low. The chairs were too high, so my feet are kind of dangling up off the ground. I felt like a little kid in this restaurant. But then the tables were too low, so I'm hunched over like this. And then the tables had zero friction. Something about the plates, the molecules just would not line up with the table. So they served us our food. They're on dishes that were so low profile that I actually couldn't get my fingers under the plates to hold them, so I couldn't even get a grip on the plates. So as I'm using my knife and fork and I'm trying to get things, the plates are sliding around like it's a planchette on a Ouija board. And I feel like an idiot. I feel like other people in the restaurant are looking at me like I'm uncultured, like, what, this guy doesn't know how to eat at a Nepalese restaurant? And I felt like an idiot, and I was just trying to play it off. I tried to pretend like I was cool with it, like I knew what was happening. But I ended up with a sore back because I was leaning over the whole night and then chasing my plate around the table on a zero friction table. So the seats in this coffee shop reminded me of that because they were zero friction. So I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if I should have had like climber's chalk. You know, you get a bag of that and you sort of pat yourself down there. So I don't know. That was pretty funny. I don't know if those are slacks I was wearing or not. So hey, I'm working on so people have been asking me about one of my games, Grandpa's Playing Banjo in Space, and I've been working on that for about half a year or so, but the entire soundtrack for Grandpa's Playing Banjo in Space, the entire soundtrack is performed live with a wide range of banjos, most of which I've built myself. If you're going to have a whole soundtrack based on banjos, you better have a bunch of different sounding banjos. So I've just been building a bunch, some that don't even exist. They are not a standard type of banjo. So I've just been building a bunch because I want to make sure that the soundtrack is good. You know, I want something that people can really sink their teeth into and enjoy. So one of the banjos that I'm building is a 12-string banjo. It's going to play like a 12-string guitar. So I'm working on the neck here. You can see the headstock is still a blank. I have the tuning machines here ready to go. I just need to mark out where they need to be. I got to cut into the headstock, drill the holes. That's not a huge deal. This was a huge deal, actually. This part was kind of difficult. So this is, I think this is red cedar that a friend gave to me. So I've just been shaping it. It's quite rough, you know, and you can see it's really rough, but I need to just smoothen that out now and even it out a little bit. But that now should fit into the banjo body. So I got this on Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. And this is just a standard 5-string banjo. So I'm going to remove this 5-string neck, and then I'll put this 12-string on there. And you can see I had to add this block to the heel here. Otherwise, there'd be no place for the coordinator rod. There's a metal rod that runs up through the middle. It has to screw in to the neck. So that'll fit in there. I could spend as much time as I want making this pretty. I don't really have that much time. I have very little free time. So I'm just going to smoothen this up a little bit, and I'm going to make it playable so I can work on the soundtrack. I can always come back later and make it pretty, but I've just been making a bunch of these instruments as fast as possible. Not a lot of them are very pretty. I just need them playable for the soundtrack. I can come back and improve them later on as well, but I'll probably end up taking this to some of the music gigs that I go to because it's something that I think people would enjoy. I think it's pretty neat. I picked this up the other day and I want to do a review on it, and I wanted to share it with you, and if I could possibly make a recommendation, I may. At the moment, I can't make a recommendation. This is a handheld emulation device. It's really cool. It's got a 7-inch screen, which is really nice. It's just a nice quality screen with great viewing angles, great brightness. The battery life is nice. The buttons, the triggers feel great. I haven't had false diagonal inputs, so things like Tetris won't mess you up. It's nice. Obviously, it's meant to look like a Switch clone. This thing uses software to play games like from the arcade, Genesis, PlayStation, up to PSP and Dreamcast. The performance is decent on all of those. I specifically bought this one because this is unique. There's a million. That's an exaggeration. There's a couple dozen of these out right now that are all extremely similar. The reason I got this one is because it has a light gun. This one, you can buy this pack and it comes with 2. I don't use the word love recklessly. I think that's something you use for your friends and your family. You love your friends, you love your family. So I don't throw that word out recklessly. I love light gun games. I grew up with light gun games, so I mean it. I mean it when I say I love light gun games. Holy crap. They're after RPGs, they're my favorite genre. They're so cool. So of course I'm excited to buy this. There's a guy named Dead Fred, I think. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. He does a lot of reviews. I'll put that in the description if you want to see him review some consoles. He got one of these. He ordered the light guns, but then they didn't include it. I think something like that. I think he got it from Alibaba. I got it from AliExpress. The problem is, this doesn't work. It came with 2 of these. They don't work. They don't connect to the console. They turn on. This means that it's not connected if it's flashing like that. Now, if I turn the console on, here, I'll just turn this thing on. You'll see it turn into a solid color for a second. Okay, let's have a look. Console's turning on. I think it's connected. It's connected right now, and disconnected. So you can see it connects when the console is booting up, but then once it finishes booting up, it disconnects. I've tried absolutely everything. I've spent hours trying to connect it. Bummer. Hey, that's life. Sometimes in life, things are just disappointing. Things just don't go your way. This is something that hasn't gone my way. Very disappointing. So I didn't get to play any light gun games. I am pretty certain there's a problem with the operating system, with the firmware. Because when it starts booting up, it connects. When it finishes booting up, it disconnects. What a bummer. So, yeah. And this thing comes with a dock. The dock does not have any connection points on the bottom, so you actually have to plug in the USB cable and the HDMI yourself. You plug that in on the top. So it looks clumsy, but I really like this because it's just a neat solution. It sits next to my Switch. It's not a replacement for the Switch. It just plays handheld consoles pretty nicely. there's limited options. It stretches out all the games for most of the platforms, which really sucks because some games, like for example, the Game Boy Color, it's just going to stretch it out. It doesn't look great. But the DS, it won't stretch out because you have other control options there. You can order it with these controllers, and these controllers just sit there, which I think is pretty cool. The controllers connect no problem. They're fine. They just sit there like that. They take AAA batteries, so I'm going to go and buy some rechargeable AAAs. So the dock is cheap. It almost falls backwards, so if you have the controller sitting there, if you take the console out, the dock does want to fall back. So the dock is cheap, but it's pretty nice. It's unique in the market. It's pretty good. The build quality is nice. It's a bit pricey, especially considering that the light guns don't work. This is the one unique, interesting thing about it, and they don't work. You will see there are absolutely zero reviews for this console when it comes to using the light guns. There are some reviews online, but they don't actually talk about the light guns, which makes it clear that the reviewers did not even actually use the console, because if they had used the console, they would have said there's a problem with the light guns. They don't work. I don't know what to do about that. What a bummer. Anyway, yeah, how's your week been? Mine's busy. I'm really trying to get my next game done as soon as possible. I just need to get my projects wrapped up and then spend some time with family. So, okay. Thanks for coming to meet me here at the Saloon. It's great to see you. Take care. I mean, we can grab a pizza if you want. All right. Take care. I'll see you around. Hope your week's been good.